Hey everyone, and welcome back to Bridging the Gap. Make sure to leave a like on this video down below and subscribe. My name is Alvin. I lean right on most issues, and I'll be representing the Republican side.
My name is Luke. I lean left on most issues, and I'll be representing the Democratic side. Hey guys, so in this video, we're going to be analyzing presidential candidate Donald Trump's potential vice presidential picks for the 2024 presidential election.
Yeah, and so last time we did this, there was a complete different set of names that we were floating around. Nowadays, a lot of dark horses have come out, a lot of people that we thought would never get the light of day to even get on Trump's short list have made it to a short list. And so a lot of people we want to look at. We took everyone that could possibly be sort of, their names have been floated at all in any serious capacity into this tier list. So here we go. Let's rank them on how good they would be for Trump as a running mate and just them in general. So let's start with Ben
Okay.
Carson.
Okay. Well, the first guy, Ben Carson. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I do not know much about Ben Carson. I know he was in the Trump administration for a bit. Um, I know he's like incredibly soft-spoken, but generally, like just as a politician, and I know he ran for president also. I just, as a politician, I don't really know much about him. He hasn't really gotten that much national attention since I think like 2016, 2017. Like I just think he's like personally like just kind of middle of the road kind of choice. Like maybe he can appeal to like black voters like and help Trump in the ticket that way. But I don't know. Like, do you have any more more developed thoughts on Ben Carson as a
Yeah,
running
so
mate?
Ben Carson obviously ran for president and he had a decent run. He was sort of the I would say he is sort of like the 2016 Vivek Ramaswamy, where he comes out of absolutely nowhere. He's a he's a man of color, and he sort of just rises to the national spotlight for a few weeks, and then he just sort of fades into obscurity in the Trump administration. I think yes, he does have a little appeal to black voters. However, I think Tim Scott, who we'll talk about later, who's right here, has a better appeal to black voters and voters of color in general. I also think that, with Ben Carson being in his 70s, that doesn't really help, this whole conversation talking about race, I mean, age recently. And so I would put him in not preferable.
Okay.
He did serve in the Trump administration, though, and I know they're close, so it's possible. He's trading around what, 13 cents? He's actually third right now. So,
Mm.
all right, Tucker Carlson. This one's funny.
Yeah, I mean Tucker Carlson, obviously the former head news anchor for Fox News. Yeah, I mean this is I feel like one of the more unlikely ones. Like, I mean Tucker isn't really a
Yes.
politician, just a very very right wing news anchor, very controversial too. I think Fox like straight up removed him just because of how much legal trouble like they were getting in because of him and the controversy he was causing. So I really don't see him helping much with a Trump 20 like as a running mate of on, like what you can add to the ticket. I don't really see him contributing much. Like I mean, I guess he can energize the base, which is I mean, I guess it's nothing to sneeze at, but I think Trump could do that well himself. Um, yeah, I mean, like, and Trump also noted he wanted to pick someone who could lead the MAGA movement after him in 2028. And I don't really, I mean, yeah, I don't think Tucker Carlson is gonna be that guy. Yeah, I don't think he'd be a great. I'd even say he's a bad choice.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him in bad choice. I don't think he's an absolutely not. Like you said, he does energize the base, which is pretty good. However, I think Trump has a very good stranglehold on the base. I mean, Trump went out there and, on the debate stage last Thursday, and he didn't give the most conservative responses to things like abortion, etc. But his base completely backs him. It doesn't really matter. He has the conservative side locked down. He needs to go out there and win moderates and certain demographics. And Tucker Carlson has absolutely no appeal to moderates or any demographic groups, as you can clearly see from his face. So we're gonna put him in the bad choice, but I don't think he's an absolutely not. So next we have Doug Burgum, current governor of North Dakota, which has seen a recent rise uh in the few weeks that Trump has been talking about VPs and is really getting down to the wire with Trump saying he's decided, right? So he had one rally where he introduced Burgum as someone that would be, sort of related to the campaign. And obviously, Burgum was sort of a no-namer presidential candidate this time around. He's the governor of North Dakota. So really, why would he be something special unless, Trump's trying to put him in the VP position, right? So that's why he's really jumped to become first place in the betting odds.
Yeah.
And the thing with Burgum is he's pretty non-controversial, right? I mean, he sort of has this like common sense, like, where I'm from the sort of the Midwest sort of feel. Could help him in the Midwest. He's, sort of like Mike Pence in 2016, where he was just non-controversial. He's pretty standard. And he could be a boost to Trump's ticket in one way or another, by sort of being a better thing for a better usage and a better way for Trump to reach out to moderates and independents. You see sort of this good-natured guy that's, likable. He did decently on the debate stage in this 2024 presidential election cycle. I think he would fare pretty well against Kamala Harris in a VP debate. And I don't know if he's the best, but I think he's at least a good choice.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I mean, I'm not too sure about Burgum, honestly. Like, just in terms of like how good of a candidate he could be, it seems like uh most if you ask like most political experts, most people like, who follow the news and stuff, they would like a plurality of them would likely say Burgum's like at the top of the list of Trump's list as of right now. And yes, he has like good relations with the Trump family and stuff, but I just like don't I think he's just like I don't think he's that great of a choice personally. Um He's like a millionaire from like a middle of nowhere state. Sorry to our North Dakota viewers, but okay. I don't really think he's gonna help like with swing states at all. Being from North Dakota, North Dakota is certainly not a swing state. Like he's like a millionaire, so like I don't even know I that kind of I mean he's kind of like from Trump's class wealth class, so like he's not really like appealing to any like lower income people, I would think. I don't I just don't really get what Burgum brings. Like even Pence brought something like they say he could be a Pence 2.0, but like I don't really like I don't even see how like he can't even get like even like evangelicals like Pence did. Like I mean, Trump kind of has that in his corner now. I don't really see what he brings personally. I think not like I don't know between not like I'd even say not preferable. I don't even think he's that great. And like Doug Burgum to continue the MAGA movement in 2028, I don't know. I don't think it really fits personally. Yeah, I don't like I think just strategically it's not a preferable pick personally.
Really, you think he's not preferable here?
Yeah, I don't think he's like I think like he's a mid pick like Ben Carson. Like I don't think he's like as great as, you know.
Do you think he's better than Ben Carson, though? No?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's probably better than Ben Carson in terms of like notoriety. Like he just have like I would say he probably is more name rec than Ben Carson, because he ran for president this time around. He wasn't like I mean he placed in what like sixth, seventh, like almost last, but he did run, so he probably has some a little more national notoriety. But I don't know. Like
Yeah,
I I'm-
sorry, go
I mean
ahead.
I don't know. What do I say? Sorry.
No, I was gonna say it feels like Trump almost told him to run for president out of nowhere just so he could get more name recognition and introduce his VP to the people. I mean, I feel like it feels like Trump already knew that would be his vice president and just did this to help him out because I don't know, why would he run for president regardless? He knows he's gonna lose. He's from North Dakota.
That's true. I think a lot of like I don't know. I I think a lot of people like yeah, actually that is a little suspicious. Like why would you run? He didn't
Yeah.
even really oppose Trump Lorraine. But I mean, I don't think that's novel. Like I mean, Vivek Ramaswamy ran without really opposing Trump in any fashion. Um like just to present their view for the country. So I mean, I don't know, maybe he just wanted to shoot his shot, I guess. I don't know. It didn't really work though. I don't think Trump has been like Trump before like a couple like I think a year or two ago like back when he first was running he was floating picking a woman vice president. We thought he was going to pick a woman for the VP. Now it doesn't really look like that. So I think honestly that Trump's been flipping around and changing his mind over time. I don't think I really I doubt he would tell Burgum to run for president just to get your name recognition. I don't think that he was thinking that far ahead personally. But yeah, I don't think I don't Yeah, I don't think he's that great of a pick. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, let's just put him not preferable for now because we really have to move on.
Yep.
Byron Donalds, congressman from Florida, seen as a token black member of the Freedom Caucus, the so-called far right, the MAGA movement, whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so he's pretty much known because he's black and a member of the MAGA movement. There's really no other way to describe it. And so I don't really think we need to spend too much time on him because I don't think he's a serious choice for Trump, like a lot of the other people that could be on this list. I think he's just a bad choice. He does again have that person of color type of thing, but he just doesn't appeal to moderates at all. Democrats could pull up way too many clips of him saying, you know, too
Oh yeah.
conservative stuff. He's just a bad choice, and I don't think
I just remembered, yeah,
there's
like
much else.
he had like a bad clip of him like saying something uh like times were better for the black family like during like segregationist times, like crazy stuff.
It's
So I don't think
wild.
that really
Let's just
helps.
move
Yeah.
on. Bad choice. You can talk
Okay.
about Tulsi.
Okay,
Quick fire.
next we have Tulsi Gabbard, a Democrat. Like she was a Democrat a while back. I think she's recently turned into an independent. So I don't think she's affiliated with the Republican Party. You can correct me on that if I'm wrong. But um, yeah, I mean, I think like she could be a decent choice. I don't know how good her name rec is, but she ran for president as a Democrat, I'd say in 2020. She has like plenty of viral clips like going toe to toe with Democrats. But like, I don't know. She's like always struck me as a very interesting figure. Like she was like almost on the more progressive end of the Democratic Party in back in 2020. Now I don't really know where she stands on much of the issues. Um I know she's been pretty pro-Trump recently, and appearing more on Fox News. So I imagine she's had to turn right on a lot of the issues. I'm not really sure how she'd fit in. And in terms of like a base, I mean, I believe she's from like American some. She was born in
She's
American
from
Samoa, rep
Hawaii,
to
right?
yeah, she repped Hawaii. Um, so yeah, I'm not too sure how like how that would play. Um, I would maybe not preferable because like I mean I guess you could like say like oh like we're kind of like bridging a gap with this former Democrat turned Republican. Uh, like I think yeah she's on the higher end and I when I and I'm looking at the not preferable candidate as because it's in the middle as more of like the average choice like they're okay like I think maybe not preferable is the wrong lingo for that third line but yeah I think Tulsi Gabbard would probably be in that personally. What about you?
I think she's much worse. I would put her in absolutely not,
Oh
actually.
really?
I don't think that she's in the not preferable. I think she's in absolutely not. She absolutely has no values, in my opinion. She used to support, oppose gay marriage when she was young and throughout much of her very early political career. She opposed, I should say, same-sex marriage, saying that there's this quote where she cites homosexual extremists. I mean, then
What?
she turned into a pro Bernie Sanders person of all people in 2016. She went to endorse Bernie Sanders for president in 2016 over
Mm,
Hillary Clinton. Then in 2020, she absolutely wiped the floor with Kamala Harris on the debate stage, which I guess is really her only selling point here if she had another VP debate. But she was arguing from the left in that debate as a progressive, taking down
yeah.
Kamala Harris because of how she handled criminal prosecutions. And she was from the left in that, and then she endorsed Joe Biden in 2020. But then over the impeachments of Donald Trump, then she started to turn into a Republican all of a sudden, and now she's, like again going back to her roots maybe of like some like anti-woke thing, anti-LGBT again when she was pro-LGBT over time in Congress. Maybe she was just doing it to get elected in Hawaii. Who really knows? She doesn't really have a spine to me. She doesn't have any good qualities to me. The only thing she has is that she's a woman of color, and then she changed from being a Democrat. She woke up, whatever. But she has no spine and no values. I would say even less than Joe Biden. And this is rough for me. It's an absolutely not. Where do you put her? Not
Okay.
preferable?
yeah, okay. I mean, okay. I guess that highlighting lack of spine is fair. I mean, but I feel like most politicians don't have a spine. Let's be real. I mean, like Trump's flip-flopped on a million different issues,
They
for
don't flip flop
example,
like
like
Tulsi
abortion.
though. They don't
He
flip
was
flop like
pro-choice
Tulsi.
and now he's pro-life. Like I think there's been plenty. Like I think there's flip-flops galore, and I think in some of these other VP candidates, plenty of them have like flip-flopped on issues like Trump and stuff like that. I don't think it's uncommon in politics. I think we put her in bad choice. Yeah, in between our two,
Okay,
because I
okay,
was gonna
let's
say not pro.
compromise into bad choice, but I'm gonna put
Yeah,
her
yeah,
below on the
yeah.
list
That's
of
fair. That's
bad
fair.
choices. All right, Christy Nome, infamously,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, with the whole dog
I got.
situation.
Yeah, Kristi Noem is governor of South Dakota, so south of Bergen, I guess. Yeah, I believe she was toward the higher end of our tier list the last time around, and she was like overwhelmingly. She was like favored. Like I think the one of the political consensuses was that she was at the like there was a time where she was at the top of like the VP betting markets and stuff. Now that is not the case because she made the super genius decision to write in her book in her memoir about how she gunned down her puppy and basically executed her puppy. um and I don't yeah, that didn't really play well with anyone at all, as you would think. And yeah, basically like I don't really see how she helps at all anymore. Like I think Trump basically took her off the list off of that. She's like after that, she published that in her book. She's just become a walking joke. Um, and yeah, I think it's pretty much. Oh, I think it's just absolutely not at this point. I think Trump would
Absolutely
kind of
not.
clown if he would go to pick her. Um,
Agreed. She's
yeah,
been angling for the position for a while, but after that memoir, absolutely not is the right decision. Let's go on to Sarah Huckabee Sanders, former press secretary for Donald Trump, now the governor of Arkansas. She does have that appeal as a white woman, which helps her, in a demographic that Republicans desperately need to win back as they've been losing ground on white women for a while,
hmm
especially college educated white women. The thing with Sarah Huckabee Sanders is that she is from a deep southern state, which isn't the best, right? Because for Trump, he really needs to win in the Midwest. That's where he needs to spend his political capital in either Wisconsin or Pennsylvania mainly. He just needs to win one of those to win the election, assuming he wins the Sun Belt. And yeah, I don't think she would be the best, but she's a decent choice. I would say she goes in the not preferable category yet again. She does have that appeal, like I said, of being a white woman, and she's eloquently spoken. She has political ties, probably
yeah.
good at fundraising with a lot of connections. So, that helps. All of that helps. I don't think she's even on the final short list, though. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I don't think it's going to happen at all, but not preferable.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Like as the governor of Arkansas, like I mean, yeah, she's not really gonna be getting many new people on board with the campaign, I don't believe. But yeah, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be that. It's just about average, I'd say. Yeah.
All right, Tim Scott, only Republican black senator who represents the state
hmm
of South Carolina in the Senate, unlike Rick Scott. Confuse them. The thing with Tim Scott, I think, is very obvious, and that's the skin color. And really, for years, I mean, Republicans have used him as, we have a black member of the Senate, because really there's not many black people in the Senate. There's what, like three
Three,
total?
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
three total,
Oh,
two on
four, I
the
think
South
actually.
side.
This is
Yeah.
Alfonso Butler in Cali, right? So
Oh,
I think it's
right,
four.
right. Yeah, but that one's like it's temporary anyway. Shifts
Yeah.
about placer. But although Angela
Four right now, yeah.
Alston could come into Maryland, but that's besides the point. Let's not talk about that. Tim Scott, obviously, he's a black man, and that has a lot of appeal. Trump's recently been doing a lot better with black voters consistently in polls. Tim Scott could definitely help with that. That could help in very important states like Georgia, the Philly area in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, and obviously Michigan, which also has a lot of black voters in Detroit and other major cities. And so that can definitely help having a black person on your ticket, right? Obviously Joe Biden, who we don't even know if he's going to be the nominee at this point, but Joe Biden has Kamala Harris on the ticket. Otherwise, Kamala Harris has Kamala Harris on the ticket. And so you sort of want this black man on your ticket, some people would say like that would help your case with people of color, black voters, Hispanic voters, etc. And I think that's a really good argument, actually. I think he's actually a good choice. He's very likable. On stage, he was sort of seen as being this person that was like trying to win people over by charming them, which obviously doesn't work in the age of Trump, but he did have a strong
Yeah.
performance in terms of staying like getting his numbers not to fall, right? He got his numbers to stay even, and he was likable. He endorsed Trump very quickly after he dropped out. He never was like anti-Trump. He was just sort of trying to get his own lane and then dropped out, sort of raising his name recognition even, and that helps. So I think he's a good choice.
Yeah, I definitely think he's up there. I don't know. I think it could even be an argument that he can go to the way top of the tiers in the best slot. But yeah, like as you made some pretty good arguments. Yeah, I think he could definitely appeal to black voters. That's definitely a group that I mean Republicans have been getting historically trounced in, but have been making inroads in like in more recent years. I know Trump's trying to make a play to get more of them, and Tim Scott could be a guy who could potentially do that and help him get more black voters on board. Also, I think something else that Tim Scott, I mean, Tim Scott also has like increased name recognition from his presidential campaign, so that doesn't hurt. Um, and he ran a uniquely positive campaign. He didn't really go negative on his opponents at all. And he's pretty much a liked figure like throughout the GOP, I would say. Like the MAGA wing seems to like him, the establishment wing seems to like him as well. Like I just think yeah, he's an overall like well-rounded and solid choice. I mean yeah, I would even say like you could probably even put him in the best tier. Like
Yeah,
I think
let's
he's
put
pretty
all
good.
the people in the good choice, and then we'll choose one that's the best at the end.
Oh, okay,
How about
okay,
that?
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
That's fair.
I think you're right. Like Tim Scott's just super likable. I think he has a good shot of becoming VP anyway. I mean, it does seem that it's unlikely at this point, but it is at least an outside shot, I would
Yeah,
say, which is
he's pretty high in the isn't he pretty high in the
more
betting
than
odds?
yeah,
Yeah.
more than what other people could say. So
Okay, he's at eight
makes
cents.
sense,
Okay.
not bad.
He's doing
All right.
okay.
Yeah. Next, Elise Stefanik, who I thought would be the presidential pick at least a while ago. I mean, she used to be trading really high. Now she's all the way down at 5 cents. I sort of want to. Oh, we can't even see it because she just doesn't pop up anymore. Oh, she does right here. Yeah. So Stefanik used to be very high. She used to be higher than all these other people that are trading high right now. She used to be all the way here at 16 cents at her peak, or she might have had a higher peak before, but she was trading very highly, and that was because obviously, identity politics is a big thing nowadays. And again, she's a white woman. She is very loyal to Trump. Trump likes that. And I don't think she's exactly bad at getting moderates, right? She comes from New York. She comes from an upstate district. And it's not like some of these other far right MAGA extremists, she doesn't align herself like that, but she doesn't also align herself with the moderate wing. She's sort of a generic House Republican that sort of rose to power because they needed a woman to replace Liz Cheney, sort of when she got kicked out. And yeah, I think it's pretty standard here. I think she's not preferable. I don't think she's gonna get picked. I think there's better choices, but she's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think Elise Stefanik, I don't know, yeah, it seems like she's kind of like fallen down, like she stumbled a bit in like terms of being the favorite for Trump's VP pick. Like I don't think like it doesn't seem like she's really being talked about as much. But yeah, like there was a time where she seemed to be in like real contention back when Trump said he was going to pick a woman as the vice pres as his vice president. Yeah, like she was up there. Um, and I don't know, like yeah, I personally think she reps one of the more MAGA end of the VP, like saying the election is stolen and stuff like that. I think she's definitely aligned herself with the more MAGA part of the GOP. Um, and yeah, some other interesting things to note about her is like I don't know if you remember like during the House of Representatives chaos when they were trying to pick a new Speaker of the House, but like and they eventually settled on Mike Johnson. She was like being floated as a potential Speaker of the House, and she didn't go for it. So I don't know. Maybe she was thinking like maybe I can get this VP pick, and like that's a higher office or something. I don't know. Um, But yeah, I think overall, like in terms of value for ticket, yeah, like so, about average. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe she could have snuck in a good choice at some point, and maybe she still can, but for now,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
preferable. Okay. JD Vance. Um, he is right. He has risen. I mean, not to copy the Jesus thing from Easter, but he has actually risen in the betting odds by a lot. So he has gotten a lot stronger in terms of betting odds, and the reason for that is all the news coming out about who Trump's betting. JD Vance has a unique story as a senator from Ohio who has some appeal in the Midwest, although he did run behind the governor candidate in Ohio. So, maybe not. But JD Vance does have that story of turning from a Democrat or at least a non-Trump backer, right? He used to not like Trump at all back in the day, and now he's sort of
Yep.
full MAGA. And I guess he can talk about his story and how he converted, which could help current moderates say, huh, JD Vance is sort of like me. Let me go. But I just don't think he's a good choice right now. Not only that, I would actually put him in bad choice. I don't think he's just
Oh,
not
really?
preferable.
Mm.
I think it's the worst choice that Trump could make as of right now that is not like one of these other people that are not in contention. I think JD Vance would be his worst pick. I still think it'd probably give him a boost in the polls because, any VP pick probably would. And Biden's doing so horribly right now. But Vance would probably give him the lowest bump. And he ran behind Mike DeWine in Ohio. Uh, it's I just don't think he has that much appeal. He is from the Midwest though, but I just don't think he's at. I think that it would be the worst Trump pick right now.
Yeah, personally, I think JD Vance, I mean, like if I had a gun in my head and I had to choose who I think Trump would pick for VP, I still think it would be JD Vance. Honestly. Um, yeah, like I think he's the most likely right now. Because he's very MAGA. I think like when Trump said he wanted someone to his vice president to continue the MAGA movement in 2028, I immediately thought like of the last like couple people that were being really talked about, JD Vance just seemed just like the most likely to be that guy to me. So that's why I think he's the most likely to be picked. But yeah, in terms of like how much it would help Trump, yeah, I don't really see him helping too much. Like again, he would just appeal to the MAGA base, really. Um, you can argue, yes, he's a senator from the Midwest, from Ohio, but he did not do that great. Like in a Republican wave year, he underperformed how Trump did in 2020 in the state. So I don't even think he helps that much. Like, uh, I mean, yeah, like other than enthusiasm, like he doesn't really offer too much.
Exactly. I'll put him in bad choice. Let's move on though. Over to Vivek Ramaswamy, who rose to fame after a really unexpectedly good performance in 2024 presidential primary. You want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, Vivek kind of went from a no name to a very prevalent somebody when he ran for president in 2024, and he was like polling really good. Like he got a good amount of attention. He brought new ideas to the table, and he's a very interesting candidate. And I mean, he never really went against Trump. He never really campaigned against Trump. He just campaigned against everyone else. But you know, yeah, like he was like he promoted Trump while he was running for president. So I could see why Trump might want to consider picking him. Although Vivek did say himself that he didn't want the role of VP, but we'll see. Um, yeah, I mean, again, like I could see him bring tons of energy to the ticket, definitely new ideas and stuff, and that could be helpful. And maybe he can. Asian voters aren't that big of a block, but maybe he could help them among like South Asian voters. So like, I mean, that could be like a little boost for Trump in an area that he didn't do particularly good in 2020. Uh, but I mean, yeah, like other than that, like he doesn't really win suburban voters. Like I'm not sure he was kind of seen as an extremist when he was running. So I mean he probably won't bring a lot of independence either. So like I don't know. I don't think he's that great.
Not preferable. Yeah, I agree with what you had to say. He would bring energy, but just doesn't do it. Let's move on to two of the last people, which I think both would definitely be good choices. So Marco Rubio might be the best, might be a good choice. He would make a lot of inroads with Hispanic voters. Obviously he's Hispanic, he speaks Spanish, which is really good for Trump. Imagine Rubio running Hispanic ads all over. all over television, all over the radio. That would definitely help Trump with Hispanics a lot, especially in the Sun Belt. Lock down that Sun Belt so that Trump just has to make a play for either Wisconsin or Pennsylvania and seal the deal for the Electoral College. I think he'd be
Hmm.
a really good choice. He obviously runs very well in Florida, his home state. He does have a little shaky record against Trump when he ran obviously against him in 2016 when Trump wasn't exactly liked by Rubio and Rubio wasn't exactly liked by Trump. You'll remember a little Marco, but putting that aside, I think he's a good choice. He has the identity politics part. He has a play to moderates, as we've seen in Florida. I think he could do a really good job on the ticket. I think he would honestly be a good vice president, and yeah, I could see him definitely be picked. He was actually on that short list, but he has fallen a little bit down back to 9 cents. But he could do it. He could be the guy.
Yeah, I agree. I think Rubio, like if Trump was going for victory, I think Rubio would help one of the most of any candidate of any of the other candidates out of them. Because I mean, yeah, like you saw how he did in Florida in 2022. He stomped. He got like an easy double-digit win. In what used to be a swing state. And yeah, I think he would definitely help Trump with Hispanic voters, a group that he's been gaining more support among. And that he would definitely be a great pick for that. And as opposed to like like Doug Burgum, like a lot of people or Ben Carson, like a lot of people don't want like an old vice president. Like they're sick of old people running for president. And Rubio's like a younger face, so that also helps on that front. So yeah, I think like in terms of getting moderates and getting Hispanics, like yeah, Rubio's a great pick.
Yep. Let's go on finally to our last candidate, the governor of Virginia. You'll remember in
Yeah.
2021 when Glenn Youngkin won the state. He is a popular governor. He's well liked. He
Hmm.
has a lot of appeal to moderates, as you saw in obviously in 2021 when he won a lean blue state as a Republican, winning the gubernatorial race. There, he knows how to play the woke game, the culture war very well. He knows how to not step on people's toes in issues where he's losing, for example, but he knows how to uh talk about woke issues or culture war issues where he's winning, like for example on trans rights he'll talk about the bathrooms issue or the sports issue. He won't talk about things like discrimination. He knows how to play the games very well with moderates and other things like that. He knows how to be good on issues like the economy. He knows how to talk about that kind of stuff. He's a really good campaigner. I think he would definitely add value to the ticket. And I think he's a dark horse to get this VP, this vice presidential pick because he obviously is a very no-name candidate. He is known among the political nerds and the ruling class, but
Hmm.
for most people outside of Virginia, they've never heard of this guy. So that would kind of be bad, but I still think he's just good enough to be in the good choice. He brings a lot to the ticket.
Yeah, I do think he could bring moderates and potentially like I mean he's a popular governor in Virginia from what I've heard.
Yeah, that's true.
Like his
Virginia
polling's
has a
been good.
chance to change if
So like
Youngkin.
I mean yeah, he could definitely like he could probably bring that slightly closer in the presidential level. I'm still skeptical Trump would win the state, stand a chance of winning the state, but he might be able to bring it closer and secure a couple house races or something. But yeah, I definitely think he's a good choice for winning moderates, suburbanites. And yeah, like just having a blue state governor would definitely help, Trump's image. Like, I mean, it would be a good counter to Trump's extreme nature. Yeah.
Yeah, finally, let's talk about who's the best before wrapping this video up. We have three choices: Tim Scott, Marco Rubio, and Glenn Youngkin. You want to go first? We'll wrap it up.
I'm not sure. Because okay, something we failed to mention with Marco Rubio is there is like a something in the US Constitution which kind of limits the ability of candidates from the same state of running on the same ticket together. So like basically how that works is I believe if Trump and Rubio both ran like on the same ticket, like since they're both from Florida, like they lose like the ability to access like Florida's electoral votes or something. So it's like one of them would have to change where they live basically, or change like their address. So I mean, I think that would kind of put the burden on Trump to like change his main address back to New York or something. I don't know. So like that could cause a little bit of trouble, but The reason I bring it up is because, yeah, I do think Rubio, like, I think on examining these top three candidates we have here, I think Rubio would be the best just because how stupidly good he did in 2022, his ability to win moderates, his name recognition, his ability to win Hispanics. I think all that combined makes Rubio like the top choice. Um,
Agreed.
g-
Rubio
yeah,
on top. Yeah, I think Rubio has all that you said. Not only that, but yeah, Trump could definitely just change New York or New Jersey. I mean, he has a golf course in New Jersey too, right?
it's true.
He has everything really. He could change. He has way too many real estate places for that to be a problem. And obviously, Rubio, if he lost, he needs to continue being the senator from Florida, so he can't change his residency. And yeah, so I think Rubio is the best choice for Trump electorally, for electability wise. I think he wouldn't exactly carry the torch of MAGA, but obviously in 2028 there can just be another primary where Rubio would, I guess, would be ahead. Rubio would obviously love to be the vice president if he could be, the leading choice for 2028. And
Hmm.
he would definitely boost Trump a ton in the polls, right? You got that Hispanic shift, you get that moderate shift. He's a very good surrogate to everyone that Trump is trying to win over but hasn't got yet with him being able to put ads out in Espanol and his ads
It's
everywhere. He
true.
has a lot of money too, right? Rubio is a good fundraiser as well. And adding his political money to Trump's, that could be the nail in the coffin for a very, very bad Biden campaign right now. So I think that would be his best choice as of right now.
Yep, for sure.
All right, so yeah, like this video down below. Comment down below who you think Trump should choose and who you think he will choose, because those are very different things. Subscribe to see more news and everything in the future, because Trump might be announcing his VP pick very soon. He sort of has to with the convention coming up, or he might announce at the convention. Who knows?
We'll
So
see.
subscribe, ring the bell, and share this video with your family and friends if you liked it. Thanks for watching.
See ya.